Alright guys, so we have never pranked my family ever.
Not one time.
And let me tell you something, pranking is not as easy as it looks.
So the pranks this year were not as great as we had hoped, but
we're new to this.
I feel
and I don't know
like
if we're committing to pranks either.
No, but I feel like we at least figured out what it takes to scare people.
And we will never take it for granted.
And
so anyway, we decided that we were going to start with my mom because we felt like given all the things that go into it, we needed an accomplice or someone who could be behind the scenes telling us things. For example, I don't call my brothers to see if they're coming home for the weekend. So if I did, they were going to be suspicious. But we plotted and planned and we were like, okay, we're going to get her. We're going to get Josh to get in the car. He's going to be hiding in the back with a clown mask on. And then he's going to pop in when I get my mom to the car.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first plan was just for me to be like, Mom, you left the lights on. Go turn them off. And Josh was gonna be in the car, and that way she's completely unsuspicious. Well, her car was locked, number one. Two, the key. This is what I mean by things don't go as planned. Two, the keys were not where they were. So I'm like, oh, Mom, can I get your car keys? And she's like, yeah, they're by my nightstand. And I'm like, why am I asking for keys? So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get some gum. Because that is something that she always has gum, and it feels very natural that I would be like, can I just get in your car? What else am I gonna get in her car for? So that's what we went with. And then I run out, and Josh is like, you just told her that the car is unlocked, so she's not gonna believe that the light's on. So I was like, dang it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get her out by telling her that I really want some gum. And she always has gum in the car, and that I couldn't find it. And I come in and she's like, oh yeah, no, I don't have any in my car, but I'll just get, and she's going through like 3 different bags to try to find gum. And I'm like, okay. Josh is meanwhile in full getup.
Listen, I'm not kidding. The mask is like a silicone mask. The car was completely closed off, and I'm underneath a blanket, and I have 3 layers on. Like, I have clothes, the costume, and then a jacket, and the blanket. So I was so hot.
So I'm trying, and Josh was already like, you better get her out here quick. And like, we can't be texting because he's all under the covers. So I was just like, okay, I need to quickly get her out there. So I try to not be like super obvious. So after she's like, yeah, I don't have gum, I was just like, oh, well, oh, I almost forgot. When I went out there, I noticed one of your tires is really flat. You should go check that out. And she's like, oh, really? So I'm like, yeah. And I didn't even give her time to think, because she might be like, oh, I'll go later or whatever. I was like, no, Mom, yeah, come on, let's go outside right now. So we go and I show her a tire, and then I'm like, oh, well, I got her out to the car, but I didn't get her in the car. How do I get her in the car? Exactly. So I went back to the gum and I go around the car and I'm like, okay, Mom, now that we're out here, we might as well check. And the irony was that we did find gum in the front middle thing. But I was like, Mom, now that we're out here, I had told her that I had garlic bread and that I really wanted some gum. So I'm like, let's go around, and while we're out here, might as well check. There was no way you're telling me that you don't have Mira, Mommy. Like, oh yeah, well, I don't think, I forgot to mention, she had just told me, oh, I want you to take this self-defense class or something. And she had this little this like shield. It's supposed to be a windshield breaker for when you're in an emergency, and you can also put it on your keychain, but it's like this sharp end thing. She had it in her hand because I was like, oh, you might as well put that in your car, because I thought I could get her out. So she has this in her hand, and Josh finally pops out.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You are lucky I did not have this.
I mean, madre.
She just told me I just told him I took today on self-defense.
I thought I was gonna get stabbed in the eye with this thing.
Are you serious?
I was here with her. I knew she wasn't gonna do anything.
If I would have bought that, I would probably have gone with her.
Goodness
Because I have my self-defense mood in the, oh my God.
I was, the second she showed it, I was like, can you imagine if she swung that thing at me and hit me in the face?
I will say we would have gotten her better if I hadn't been with her, but I didn't know how to get her out without me being with her. If she had gone in the car by herself and Josh pops out, she would have been horrified.
You're getting suspicious?
No.
I was gonna prank you yesterday so you could help us plan everyone else. And then you're like, I'm in the apartment. And then you got back and were like, oh, I'm so tired. And we were like, okay, we won't do it. So
she did get scared, but not as bad. But it was still funny. She didn't mind it.
No.